always pushing help up, better understanding self, giving praise to the Most High. So, in this video, we're going over the Detroit flood. They won't be able to go back to their home for about 6 weeks, which is crazy. And I'm familiar with water main breaks, and it's never this much water though. So this is what made I went live yesterday, and it made everybody on the live bring up Lake Lanier, the town that it's just a man-made lake that was over a black town. So got a video from one of my mans showing that, which is crazy how many people died at this lake, and some saying it's the ancestors paying their revenge and getting bodies. But let's go over this Detroit flood first.
Caused this surreal scene of cars trapped in ice in southwest Detroit. And now nearly 300 people may have to spend weeks in hotels as the city cleans up their neighborhood. A massive 100-year-old steel pipe ruptured around 2 a.m. on Monday, when temperatures were already well below freezing. We're talking 21 degrees. More than 250 homes were either flooded or lost power, and residents had to be rescued by boats. City officials called it one of the worst water main breaks in recent history.
I wonder if the city is gonna pay for those everybody hotel fees that they, since the water main break. I'm thinking they're gonna have to foot the bill for this. But this is just strange. Nothing never happened like that before, a water main break. So I don't think the city's going underwater. We had Mickey Jones last night was saying they're gonna do it like like New Orleans. New Orleans just happened where the city was full of water. So this is the haunting of Georgia's Lake Lanier. It's coming from the shade room, but I'm gonna give my commentary. Check this out.
Black people say they will never go.
I wouldn't even go fishing out there.
What looks like a pretty lake is believed to be tied to some ugly history, and some say bad things are happening to people because of it. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. We went around Atlanta asking Black people, why don't you go to Lake Lanier? It's the biggest lake in Georgia. It's right outside of Atlanta, about an hour away. People go there to boat, fish, party, have a good time. But it's what's underneath the lake that some people have a problem with.
Nah, man, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. I wouldn't even go fishing out there.
Bray Barnett has lived in Atlanta his entire life, and Lake Lanier is not typically on his fun list.
People jumping off the boat and drowning. You know what I'm saying?
About 14 million people visit Lake Lanier every year, so it is inevitable that bad things do happen there. Boat accidents, fires, drownings. Even just in April, 24-year-old pro basketball player Dorian Pinson drowned after jumping off of a rented pontoon boat. Even this viral video, a young girl dancing on a boat, just slips right off.
So far this year, we've had 7 drownings on Lake Lanier. Last year, we had 7 in total for the whole year.
Mark McKinnon works for the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. The 176-foot lake is their responsibility.
Our goal is just to try to give people the information that they need to keep their families safe, and then it becomes personal choice.
A choice that Carlos Mallory says was easy to make when she was planning a yacht party for her birthday one year.
My daughter, told me that she heard about the drownings, and so then it kind of scared me. And when she told me that, I changed my mind.
There's a lot going on underneath Lake Lanier.
Old homes, old buildings. There are a lot of trees on the bottom of Lake Lanier.
Experts say the government was reckless back in the 1950s. They just dumped water on top of empty towns to make Lake Lanier what it is today.
Wow, so the government, and you don't find that kind of stuff on Google when you look at it. This is some knowledge that you got to know. That's why it's important, though. To have that in textbook and written.
Lisa Russell wrote about it in her book. It's called Underwater Ghost Towns. Why would officials back then build a lake on top of a town and not do their due diligence to make sure it was done correctly, like other lakes here in Georgia?
Well, there really wasn't like a rule book. There was a lot of graves underneath those, every one of the lakes. There were family graveyards, African American graveyards that weren't marked, slave graveyards that weren't marked. So when they go to start, surveying the land, they tried to find all the graves and move them. They did a lot, but they didn't move every one of them.
Graves, even of Black people who used to own land and live around Lake Lanier. One town called Oscarville was turned upside down when something bad happened in 1912.
A white woman who lived in Oscarville named May Crow was found beaten and bloody in the woods, and she was 18 years old, and she eventually died of her wounds.
Stanford professor Patrick Phillips is from that area and started digging into what happened for his book. It's called Blood at the Root.
Suspicion soon fell on the only young Black men in the area.
The three accused Black men, Rob Edwards, Oscar Daniel, and Ernest Knox, were all lynched because of it.
It seems very, very unlikely that they had anything to do with it.
Phillips says Blacks were forced out anyway.
White mobs intentionally created a wave of terror and just, fear among the Black families of the county. And the result was that the entire Black population of Forsyth County fled. When there are no more people of color left in the county, the whites of Forsyth declared that this was now a white man's county forever after.
We saw it not long ago during race marches in the 1980s, white people holding up signs that say Forsyth County stays white, and even a picture of a noose. Things are considerably better now, although white people still make up over 90% of the population where Lake Lanier is. It's a reason, though, many people decide to stay away.
And the emotional truth is it is a place that has been dangerous for Black people for a very long time. And that is real.
State officials say that sometimes it's so hard to find victims' bodies because of all the trees and objects underneath Lake Lanier's surface. They do say that if you follow the safety rules and wear a life vest, you'll be okay. But ultimately, they say, it's your choice. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter.
So, wow. Just sad. It's like another kind of like how they did Black Wall Street, but just with the water. But man, it's like another painful story that. And I made a video about reparations, and I had so much people in my comments saying like, yo, you wasn't a slave, even your parent, like the slaves are the one that deserve the reparations. But they'll never bring up stories like this. It's like they probably don't even know stories like this, so they probably do. But that a lot of people was going to this lake and dying is just very unusual. I think the ancestors is, you know, it's gonna get to you. You can't just do wrong and think it's just going. And that's why right now it's a good time that we are definitely uniting, waking up. It's a good time to be about the community. So I want to know what y'all think about this Lake Lanier, man. Like, this should be, all the towns. They should add up all of these, the damages. The government didn't want to do anything, so they have to take credit for it. We can't, because it's justice supposed to happen. So that's the government's job. So I think they're accountable for this, and this stuff is gonna get around. We just got to keep making it aware, and like it's in black and white now. I don't know how can we have politicians for so long with stories like this that's out there, and we couldn't have nobody think about putting some policies in place to make sure the reparations happen for these people in towns that got burnt down and underwater and just anything that was unjust. Like, I don't see how you can be in politics. You can be a politician and it's like, even like an attorney general, a district attorney. It's just like, it's crazy. But that's just my opinion. That's what I think. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.
You are totally dependent on other people to take care of your needs because you don't have those roots sunk into the ground. To have a community, you must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control four basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.